Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. I want you to think about something because I told you in another report that there was a special meeting with the DEC to talk about the future of our St. Lawrence River bass fishery, what we can all do to make sure it sustains itself and continues to be not only world class, but top of the world class. And I want you to think about what happens when we have, say, a tournament at the Massena Intake, because we've got some of the top tournament organizations in the world coming to Massena now to experience the bass fishing. But what so many of those anglers do when they leave the intake is they turn those boats up to high and away they sail at super speeds all the way towards the Thousand Islands. Now, they do this for a reason, because most of these anglers in the past, this is the only place in the river that they had ever fished. They're familiar with that water, and rather than take valuable time, because that's what it is in a tournament, searching and learning about the waters right around our area, they head back towards the Thousand Islands. Now, here's what results from that. Later on in the day, these anglers bring their fish and their live wells back to be weighed in at the intake. And a lot of times they're bringing fish all the way from maybe even Lake Ontario to come back here. They're weighed in. They're put in a release boat. Then they're taken out in our water here and released to live again or to keep living. But I want you to think of something. These fish now are introduced to a whole new, maybe, ecosystem here. The water, the foods, the type of other organisms that live in this area might be a bit different. So they're being introduced here to try to establish a new life. Most of these fish are not going to return the 70 to 100 miles to where they once lived. They're not going to do it. They're going to try to find a place to be here. And that's going to be different. Will they still try to spawn? Will they still try to do all kinds of things? I'm not a biologist. I'm not sure. But I want you to think of it in this way. Do these bass now not become an invasive species themselves to this area? They're new. They're not just visitors to this area. They've taken up residence. And so all the food that was available now has to be shared with this new population of a little bit different fish. They come from another area. They may have a little bit different habits. It's something to consider. I don't have the answer to this. I would love it if fishermen, instead of going all the way back to that area because they're familiar with it, because believe me, there's just as big fish in this area. There's lots and lots and lots of smallmouth between Massena and, let's say, Chippewa Bay that these people could fish in and catch just as many. I believe, because I've gone out fishing northern pike a month before these tournaments, and I've caught massive smallmouth bass. But I have to say by mistake because I'm fishing for northern. But there's so many bass in our waters, you're going to catch them anyway. So it's something to think about, and I'll try to come up with more answers. I don't know if even biologists, we don't have all the, well, I shouldn't say we, I'm not one, but they don't have all the answers. But together, between the fishermen, the biologists, the visitors, we all can bring our knowledge together and share it, and maybe we can come up with better answers. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.